Governor Ron DeSantis is rejecting a call by Senator and former Governor Rick Scott to give unused stimulus money back to the federal government.
Scott sent a letter about unspent stimulus dollars to governors and mayors. In the letter, Scott said the funds have not helped families in need, but are instead being used by state and local governments as slush funds for unrelated pet projects. DeSantis questioned what it would accomplish if Florida returned the remaining $100 to $200 million worth of stimulus money. He instead criticized federal spending.
How much dent would that make in the debt? I mean, seriously, I appreciate when federal folks are concerned about how we're managing this.
Florida Tax Watch has reported the state received $13 billion from the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act of 2020 and the American Rescue Plan of 2021.